Happy Sunday. Woke up feeling inspired today. So then I battled, do I send these videos out or do I just keep the thoughts in my head? But I don't want to keep all these thoughts in my head if I think they're going to help somebody else. So I'm going to share them with you guys. This is from a reading. This is from Jesus is Calling. I don't have the book any longer. I gave the book to one of my girlfriends, but I read it this morning on Facebook from my dear friend Susie Hooper, and it just inspired kind of the thought process that I'm having this morning. And then on my Facebook, some little year memory popped up about you're only as happy as your mindset. The reading was just along these lines. I don't know it specifically, but it was basically stay away from the edge of self-pity. Stay away from the pit of self-pity. And I don't think it's just self-pity. I think it's stay away from the pit of anger, stay away from the pit of resentment, stay away from the pit of self-pity, all of those things. And it says, basically the reading said, the closer you get to the edge of that, so the more time you spend mulling things over and getting closer to more ugly and you get on the edge of that, the edges are not strong. The edges crumble. So before you know it, bam, you have fallen down into this pit of self-despair, or this pit of poor me, or this pit of anger, or this pit of sadness, or this pit of guilt, or whatever it is that is going on in your brain. You've had something in there, you've mulled it over and over and over and over, and it slowly drags you to an uglier state of being, to where you're on the edge, the ground falls out from underneath you, and now you're sitting in this pit that you can't get yourself out of. Or you can get yourself out of, but boy, is it ever harder to dig yourself up out of some ugly pit, some ugly emotional state of being, some ugly stuck in my head, stuck in my feelings, as it's so much harder to pull yourself up out of it than it is just to keep yourself out of it. You guys all know the way I'm going to tell you to keep yourself out of it. You go to God and you pray and you pray and you pray. And we've all been there. Man, recently, you can stay stuck in an emotional mindset, or you can stay stuck in some feelings. And the more you keep yourself there, the more miserable you become. And then you're down in this pit. And once you're down in this pit, then you have the choice. Sit there, feel sorry for myself, sit there, be mad at the person, sit there, hate my situation, or we saw Brian was telling me about this little picture that he saw where two dudes were in a hole. One sat there feeling all sorry for himself. One dug little holes out and built himself a ladder to get on up. Number one, don't get yourself there. Don't get yourself there. It was easier almost for me when I was doing this faith walk, and I just believed that God was a power or an energy. Because I'm a pretty positive person, so it was real easy just to cling to the power of positivity and make me feel stronger and make me feel at peace. But there's times in our lives where it's not positive and you don't feel strong, and you keep edging towards that pit more than you are edging towards, superpower mode. And now I do believe that it's more than a power. I do believe that there is an intentional God who, if you choose to walk with this intentional God who has intentions for your life, your outcome is going to be stronger, happier, more peaceful, more forgiving, all of those things that I always tell you about. But they're not going to stop you from having troubles. It's not. You will have troubles in this world. It says it in the Bible all the time. But if you keep on going and you keep on praying and you take these thoughts, and instead of mulling them over in your brain 400,000 times and making the situation uglier and uglier and uglier, you take them and you go to God with them. And you go to God with them. Or you go to the person with them. Or you take them to yourself and you go, if I can't fix this, I have to learn to accept this. That's where that power of God comes in. If I can't fix this, instead of dragging myself down to the pit of despair and wallowing in that, you got your blinders on at that point. That's just you. That's when you're just you. When you're just with you, you only see what you see. You only think what you think. You only feel what you feel. When you're walking with God, you take them blinders off and you're able to see other scenarios. You're able to see the beauty in the ugly. You're able to have a different grasp on all situations, even the bad ones, because trust me when I tell you, I have had some situations, some that I could control, and I did what I needed to do. It's those ones that you can't control that are the tricky ones. Those ones that you can't control that you have to somehow find the strength to find the beauty, to find the way to not fall into that pit of self-despair. And that's when you go to God every single day. And I absolutely promise you that there's power in it. It's life-changing power in it. I'm going today. This is so wonderful. I'm going today because one of my dearest friends is getting baptized, and I won't go into detail of it, but it's been a journey for this friend. It's been a real, real, real long, hard journey. So anybody that tells me they can't do something, or that there isn't a God, or anything, anybody that has any excuse about anything at all about why there either isn't a God, or why God's a jerk, or why you can't trust him, or why I'm not turning to it, I look at this person and I go, living testament. Not only if I and Brian weren't already living testaments to it. So don't fall into the pit of despair. Don't even walk over to the edge. Give that away. Give it away. So many of our problems, they come from our own thought processes, our own inability to see something in a different light, our own, let's say, laziness, our own something that we are all lacking is usually what causes us to fall down into that pit of self-pity or anger or depression or resentment. You've got to be the one to get yourself out of it. And it's sometimes, if you're doing it by yourself, I don't know how people do it by themselves. I think they stay stuck in that pit. If you want better for your life, if you want strength and you want peace and you want hope when you're in that crap hole, that there's a way out of it. All of those things, they come from the power of God. They just do. I will never turn back. I'm a little sad that it took me this long to get here, but that was God's plan. And hallelujah, praise Jesus, Lord. I had some great, awesome years that I wasn't following no rules at all, so I can't have any regrets about that. But raising my children would have been different for me if I were walking with God. Lots of life choices would have been different for me if I were walking with God, and not because of the rules, but because it's better for me. It feels better for me. Your God is not here to be the above all. Your God is here to give you peace and strength and hope and happiness and trust and all of those things, whether you're feeling good or whether you're feeling bad, whether you're in a great life or whether you're in a bumpy ride, whether there's situations that you yourself can change or whether there's situations that you can't change. If you have God by your side, nothing is impossible, and you will always have the ability to take off your poor me blinders or your I'm angry or this so-and-so or I can't change this. You'll have the ability to be in those with a different mindset. One of peace, one of strength, one of gratitude, one of happiness, one of letting go. All of these things that they just make this walk so much better. They just make it so much better. So good luck to you guys. I hope that made sense. Take all your ugly thoughts to God over and over and over, because there's 15 million of them. They'll pop in your brain a day. Take them all to him. If you're already on that edge, but you have not fallen in that pit yet, my God, reach out. Reach out to somebody. I'm your girl. Reach out to me. I don't care what type of a relationship we've ever had. I don't care if we've never had a relationship. You need somebody to help you pull yourself away from that pit. I'll do it. I'm not perfect. By golly, I'm not perfect, but I'm trying. So trying together, two muscles are better than one. If you're already in that pit, God's there with you. I promise you that. Just waiting on you. Just waiting on you to go, all right, here's my whole heart. And that is the last secret of it. I just popped in my brain just now. You can't go to God with random little help me God prayers and expect that he does random little help you things. You don't even notice them because you're too busy stuck in your brain and stuck in your self-pity and stuck in your anger and stuck in your resentment. But I promise you, you start giving God your whole heart, you 100% are going to see your whole world different. All of it. So pray, pray, pray. Trust him with your whole heart. Go on the daily basis. Don't stay stuck. Don't even get close to that edge. If you're there, reach out to somebody. If you're down there, pray, pray, pray. Give God your heart. Pray, pray, pray. Stay close to people that make you feel loved and that have strong Jesus in them so they can help you. And it's not about being better than nobody. It's not about judging nobody. It's not about following some sort of rules. It's not. It's not. It's just about living the best life you can and trying to be as happy as you possibly can while we're here. That's the goal. It's my goal. I love you guys. Got to go to church, see my friend get baptized. Happy Sunday, y'all. Bye.